How important is communication in our everyday lives? It's essential for everything, right? We need to be able to communicate people the things we want. We need to be able to communicate the things that we want people to do, right? And we need to be able to communicate effectively. One of the hard parts about communication, of course, is that you can offend people, right? If you communicate to them in a way that's not kind or is, rough around the edges. So this is critical for getting what you want, right? In sales, which is my expertise, in sales, you have to be able to communicate effectively. One of the best ways to communicate effectively, of course, is to ask questions. And the more effective the questions that you ask is the better the feedback or the information that you get back, the communication you get back. And then you can utilize that information for your offering or for what it is that you're selling. One of the things that I found of late is that communication is lacking in business. And what do I mean by that? You think that most people would say, no, communication is not lacking anything. Companies communicate a much better rate today than they did once upon a time, right? Because why? We have text, we have emails, we have all kinds of different ways to communicate. But I'll give you some great examples of lack of communication. Anybody who's a member of Amazon Prime, of course, you get offers all the time. If you order whatever, a widget, and they send you a note and they say, hey, if you order one more widget that equals $25 total for the sale, for the order, we'll ship it to you today, or we'll ship it overnight. It'll be at your house at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Next thing you know, you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you look outside, there's no package, right? 8 o'clock, there's no package. And the next thing you know, several hours later, you get an email or a text that says, oh, I'm terribly sorry, but we couldn't make it there yesterday. If you want to cancel your order, you can do that. If not, it'll be there today. Most people would say, okay, that's not a bad thing, the way they communicated that. However, what I would say is, then you become disingenuous, right? Now you're essentially fooling your client. You're asking them to make an additional purchase, an additional investment in products that you have, and you didn't deliver on that, right? It's great that you apologize. It's great you gave them an opportunity to cancel the order, but it's a breakdown in communication. And what happens when you break down in communication in that instance? You break trust, right? I give you another really, really good example. Have you ever ordered something and you look at the order after you place it and it's being shipped to you by the United States Postal Service priority mail? Now, the post office does a very good job up front of telling you, hey, this is a 2 to 3 day priority mail, right? It's going to get there quicker than regular mail, but it's not like shipping it FedEx or UPS or what have you. So they give you this promise, hey, 2 to 3 days, you'll get your package. So they set the proper expectation up front. They did a good job of that. But then what happens? Then they give you a tracking. They send it to you via email or text, usually email, and it says, hey, you can expect your package on February 3rd, whatever the date is. Now they've set an expectation there, right? They've communicated to you, you're gonna get your package or your goods that you ordered on the 3rd of February. And then February 3rd comes and goes. If you watch the tracking, I've seen this all the time. You look at the tracking, and I can tell now when I look at the tracking, oh, this package is still in St. Louis. I live in, Chicago suburbs. There's no way that thing is getting delivered today or tomorrow. I just know that up front, right? And of course it doesn't show up. So what happens? The next day, they change the email and they say, okay, now it's gonna show up on the 4th. Now, here's the challenge with this. They communicated properly up front. They told you it'll be there in 2 to 3 days. The 4th or the 5th may still be within that window, but they set a false expectation when they sent you the email that said it's going to be delivered on the 3rd. Now you expect it to be delivered, right? So this is a breakdown in communication. What it does is it breaks the trust. Again, it causes a moment of distrust with the Postal Service. So now every time I order something that gets shipped by the Postal Service, priority mail, I kind of roll my eyes. I'm like, oh man, I wonder if I'll ever get this thing. First of all, I always get the products. It's almost always within the actual window, what they said when I was shipped priority mail. It's within their service limits, but they set a false expectation up front. That would be like if you had a business, and let's say you hire somebody and you tell them, I'm going to pay you $25 an hour. Great, you take the job, you start working, and at the end of the week, they told you, I'm sorry, we observed you in the first week. You're really not doing as well as we thought, so now we're going to pay you $20 an hour, right? That would be a break in trust. I don't know about anybody else, but if that happened to me, that would be my last day. The day that they told me that and I picked up my check, I would be gone from there. So look, here's the point that I'm trying to get at, is in business, you want to overpromise and over-deliver, right? The popular saying is you want to under-promise and over-deliver. I would say no, don't do that. Overpromise and over-deliver, God forbid, don't under-promise and under-deliver like the post office does, or they actually overpromise and under-deliver. That's a recipe for disaster, right? Overpromise and over-deliver. I talked to a woman one day, just recently. She told me that she tells her sales staff to never get in touch with people right away. When they make an inquiry, she says, don't get back to them right away. You want to wait 24 hours. So we put into our messaging, we'll be back to you within 72 hours. And then she tells them, don't call the prospect today, call them tomorrow, because now it's 24 hours later, and we beat our promise by 48 hours, right? Instead of 72 hours, we got back to them in 24 hours. Guys, this is disastrous for your business. If you're a business owner or you're running a sales team, that is absolute disaster in the digital age. I could tell you, I don't know the exact statistics, but I could tell you that in digital marketing, or when you're putting a marketing message out where you're asking people to query for information, if you can get back to them in less than 30 seconds, your chances of getting that sale, it triples or quadruples. It's a big, big number. And I don't know the exact number, but it's a huge, huge increase. After 24 hours, the likelihood of selling that client drops down to almost nothing. It may as well have been a cold call that you made on somebody to try to make a sale. Obviously, that's not good. If you're investing a lot of money into marketing, you want to be able to get a result from that immediately. You don't want to wait till tomorrow to call somebody. So overpromise and overdeliver. We'll get back to you in 24 hours or less, or 12 hours or less, and then get back to them in 20 minutes. That's overpromising and over-delivering, right? Because it seems impossible to be able to get back to them in, say, 12 hours, and then you do it in 20 minutes. That's an overpromise, over-deliver. So what do we take away from this, right? Communication is absolutely key to your marketing messages, your sales messages, and of course, your interaction with your clients and your staff. You want to make sure that everybody has clear communication. What do you expect? What's expected out of them? What's expected out of you? And what is the end result, right? We're going to talk in the next segment, we're going to talk about OKRs, right? Objectives and key results. And we're going to talk about KPIs, key performance indicators, and how those two things work in constant and clear communication with the expectation of the message that you want people to understand, right? We want those to work in concert, the communication with the expectations. If you'd like more information about how we could help you, you can contact us at info@moza-bella.com, M-O-Z like zebra, A-Bella, B-E-L-L-A.com. And we would love to give you 30-minute free consultation. We'll give you great ideas that'll help you grow your business. Won't cost you not one dime. And then if you get value from that, then we would love to engage you in other parts of our business or other services within our business. I'm Scott Miller, and thanks a lot for listening.